BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello and welcome to episode, what are we on, 600 and something or other? I've forgotten
definitely.
words. 623 of BRB
Sounds
UK.
right.
I am your woefully unprepared Coleman. Hi. Filling in for Dan in the hot seat. He literally jumped out just as before we started live streaming and recording. He had a work emergency and we're late because I had a work emergency. But Tim was on time, which is a rarity.
Yeah, I was a minute early. I like
Good.
to think that Dan isn't really going for a meeting. He's just upset that I called him racist last week. But we all know he didn't listen to the podcast, so...
Have we checked that Tottenham aren't playing this week? 'Cause he could
Tottenham
be
are
there.
playing right now. Well, not now, but this evening. In a much bigger game than the one that was last week. I'm not sure when it actually kicks off. I think it's 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock.
Oh,
So
BRB UK's biggest Tottenham
Semi-final.
fan, Dan Gibbons.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why he's really off.
The CAD. How are you, Tim?
I'm good, actually. All in all.
Yeah.
I've got a day off
Done
tomorrow.
much gaming this week?
It's rare.
Oh,
I haven't.
You slut.
Well, I have done a lot of gaming, but it's all card gaming. And you won't let me talk about that because you're a cad.
No.
So yeah, I did a little bit of video gaming, and I'm actually taking a day off to go take place in a card game tournament on Saturday, but it's in Stockport, so we need to leave on Friday. So hence the reason I'm taking a day off work. Also, just happens to line up with my work so that I can do that. So yeah.
Can you get up for around about 6 a.m. and wait by your door, and I'll hand you a parcel that I need you to take to the post office because it's going to be closed by the time I get back from work.
Also, no.
Come on, I got a Joy-Con, not a Joy-Con, what do you call them? A DualSense to send off for repair.
Get another member of your household to do it. Preferably the cat. Just
Tim, let me
strap
tell
it to
you.
him.
Be very careful with your Joy-Cons. Don't do anything like not play them for a year and keep them in a box untouched. Because
It's not broken, it's just
hardware
offended.
faults. Yeah, hardware faults can happen at any time, and the cost of getting that fixed is 40 quid and 2 hours and 40 minutes on hold.
Ooh. That's worth another 40 quid.
Yeah, they have I've got minutes, it's fine. But they've got a thing on the website.
Minutes.
Yeah, they've got a thing on the
You want
the
minutes? I
PlayStation
got
website
minutes.
for troubleshooting. And then if you fail troubleshooting, it goes, okay, you need to go through booking a repair or call this number or whatever. And it goes into book a repair. And it goes, okay, I need the serial number that's on your DualSense controller. Now, Tim, the serial number on the DualSense, I've got pretty good eyesight.
I don't.
This is less than a millimeter in size.
What do you need, Coleman? One of these.
Yeah, I guess I do. Just had that ready for this. But yeah, so there was that. And then I typed that in. It's like, okay, radio. Now I need the model number. I'm like, okay, back to zooming in on my phone on the, trying to get it to stop blurring focus. And then you type it in and it goes, that model doesn't exist. I'm like, well, it does. It's in my hand. I bought it officially from PlayStation. So that was a pain. Yeah, and it was and then like go on the phone. You wait 2 hours 40 minutes to get through on hold, and then they talk to you for a little bit, and then they put you on hold for like another 10 minutes, and then put me on hold a couple of times. Took a lot of information, and then they went, okay, so now you got to send it back. Okay, fine, ready. Now I just got to get to a post office. Also, good luck calling them. They're open like a very minuscule amount of time in the day, and they're all the hours that I'm at work. And I went, okay, I'll just do it on the weekend then. They're closed all weekend.
Yeah, it's not good customer service.
Why?
When you can't
Why?
Outside of work hours, is it?
They're just hoping that I go, do you know what? I'll just drop another, 375 quid on another PSVR 2 just so I can get the controllers.
That's the thing.
Don't say they're going to sell the controller because they're not yet.
But that's the thing. If they sold the controllers separately, like, there would be people in your position that just wouldn't put themselves through that and would buy more of the controllers. I don't understand why they're not selling the controllers separately. It doesn't seem to make any sense. Like, it's
Well,
just
no,
stupid.
there would be more people there'll be more people like me, allegedly, that may buy a set of Joy-Cons, clean their old ones up really, really well,
Joy-Cons.
put them in the box, and then return them.
There's that.
Yeah. I did see someone literally suggest that online because they were having the same problem as me. Their model just wasn't registered in the system and they'd had to call and they could never get through. And someone's gone, well, if you've got however much money laying around, just buy another VR2 headset and then say that the controllers are defective and put them in there. Like, what if I can't get it refunded? I don't want to risk it.
That's a bigger risk, isn't it?
Now I've got 2 headsets.
Yeah. No.
And only 3 controllers.
Made a sale. We're not undoing it. No take backsies.
Oh dear. But anyway, yes. I'm well on my way to finally getting to play some of these new VR games on PSVR 2. Now they've actually started supporting the headset, and I actually want to play it.
Some good games. Although there's a lot of big games out there, I still haven't actually picked up Arcane Age. I will do it so at some point. But for all the games that have come
do you want
out,
my copy?
like Alien and other things, I think you should buy yourself Trombone Champ, Coleman. I think that's still possibly the VR game you might enjoy the most that's been released in the last.
Well, I already own that.
Okay.
And I'm assuming is it just a mod for the PC version?
I don't know. I don't know if you can upgrade. I haven't seen that mentioned. So I don't know.
Because I was going to say I have the PSVR PC connector, which I tested. It works really, really well.
I know it's out on PSVR. I assume it's out
controller.
on PC, but I don't know that for a fact.
Okay, I'll look into that. But yeah, I already own that game on PC anyway. So
okay.
Hey ho. Yeah. So that's going on. Do you hear about Avowed? Just quickly, I read this as I was on my way over. Avowed, 60 frames a second on Xbox Series X.
What about S?
30.
I don't care. But
all right. I would.
You would.
Although
I don't.
Yeah. Although they wrote up to 60 frames a second on Xbox Series X.
Yeah. Maybe 59 and a half.
Lofty inhibitions right there. We'll see. All right, let's talk about the games we done played. And Tim's going to start off because you've picked up a demo for a game you're all very excited about. You don't, it's you. You when someone else is doing the thing.
Well, I am excited to talk about it. I was unsure about this one going in. It's a game called Death Howl. There's a demo currently available on Steam, so you can try it out for yourself. One of the things I wasn't sure about is, as listeners will know, I generally need to play stuff either on Mac, which I don't think this is compatible with, or Steam Deck, where I wanted to play it because it's a turn-based strategy game and it's kind of suited to the Steam Deck environment. But it's not rated for Steam Deck. It doesn't even tell you at the moment whether it's compatible or not. So I can
you get that a lot.
Semi-exclusively report that it does work. Like, it's fine. There are a few shortcut buttons that I've had to bind to buttons that weren't otherwise used in the game. But you don't necessarily need those, although it's weird because it comes up on screen saying you need to press like the C button and it won't I don't know if you can get that off screen if you just navigate it to the menus, which it doesn't tell you can do separately. Also, because it's very much set up for a mouse and keyboard commands, like it's a bit weird and it doesn't really explain how the kind of things work, like how the interface generally works. And you have to kind of use the mouse and clicking around the screen. And the amount of times I came out of a menu and then went to use the joystick to move around and it went back into another menu. And I was like, oh no, all right, I can't do that. I need to use the mouse command type thing. But once I kind of got my head around the slight annoyance of me misdoing that for over a few times, like because of that, it's like created a slightly bad impression of me at first. But also, there was a game, if you remember, that I reviewed on Switch last year called Howl. And originally I played a demo of that, wasn't particularly impressed, then got a review copy saying I'll look at it again and give it a deeper look to see if I wasn't that pleased. And it was slightly better than I thought first from just the demo, but it was distinctly average and maybe slightly below average, but had some redeeming features. That game was called Howl, and then I played it on the Switch. This is called Death Howl, so it is a separate game. But has a similar title and has a kind of slightly similar aesthetic, although it's kind of, this is visually distinctively different and reminds me of Inscription. Not necessarily in gameplay, but in slight sort of graphical stylings, and the fact that you are basically deck building and creating cards and finding cards through different components you find in the environment and stuff. So there's some similarities there, but it is a isometric turn-based strategy game. At first it seems very simplistic, but as soon as you start building more cards and then deck building towards the combos those cards can do together, it gets quite tactical and you can get quite deep into it. The demo itself is, I'd say I played for about 2.5 hours, but I could have played for longer because you can repeat things to gain more components to make cards with. But then there's also other things that I didn't do and I wandered off in a certain direction. There was one point I got to where it says this area isn't available in the demo. And then when you go towards the kind of end boss fight that it's hinting at, I'm not sure it's a boss fight or just a boss area, but when you get to that area, it kind of hints at the fact that that's the end of the demo. But there was more of the demo I can do, and I didn't go back and check if I can do that after I've exited. But I might go through and play it again. I enjoyed it that much. Like the tacticalness of the turn-based combat and stuff is really good. How things work is really interesting. Like there's different kind of fights that you can encounter in the environment, but there's kind of different routes around the environment as well. So you soon find that, oh, actually I can circumnavigate that fight and get through there. But also it's kind of Souls-light. Like it's not quite Souls-like. It's you can, when you go to like, I can't remember exactly what they're called, but summoning stone type things. There's 4 like stones in the environment that kind of group together. And when you go into the middle of them, you lose any of the Death Howls that you've picked up, which are a bit like souls. They're a currency that you need to create cards with. And it does give you the option that you can actually back out of that and create cards before you do it. But otherwise, you lose any Death Howls that you haven't used up. But it also brings back to life any of the enemies in the environment. So it'll make traversal back the way you came a bit more difficult because you have to fight the way back through that fight, even though it will do it in a like you'll encounter enemies in a different order because of the direction that you're entering the battlefield from. But where it's Souls-light, I would say, rather than Souls-like, is it's kind of a bit more forgiving. If you enter a fight and die, you can just retry that fight again. Or you can just walk away from that combat and come back to it later. So there's not as harsh a penalty for being unsuccessful in combat as there is in a Souls-like game. And yeah, overall, it means that you can just wander in something. And even if something's a really hard fight, you can give it a go, try it out, and there's not really a very harsh penalty other than a bit of a waste of your time for trying it out and seeing if you can get past it. There's some really interesting mechanics in there. There's one part where basically you're in the spirit realm, just to go back a bit as well. You're in the spirit realm searching for the spirit of your son. It doesn't expressly say that you're a Native American. It doesn't expressly say what time period you're in, but there's like Native American trappings and like totems and other things that it makes reference to. So you're a Native American searching for their dead son and the soul of their son. And kind of the quest is generally being led that you go after that and try and find it, basically. But yeah, one of the things that they do that's quite interesting is there's a tree that's talking to you. There's generally a big moose that talks to you a lot as well. But there's one level where there's a tree that set itself on fire because it's angry at the fox that has chased the bird out of the tree. And so it's trying to burn the fox. So it set itself on fire and you can't get past it because this tree is on fire. And then
this one's bit my sister.
Then you later on in the level you encounter the songbird that it's missing, and you pick up that bird, but that bird acts as a card that takes part as your deck. But so it uses up a space in your deck. But if you're holding that card in your hand at the end of your turn, it revives all the enemies in that fight. Right. So you need to actually use up some of your each round has a certain amount of action point type things that you can spend, and it costs I think you get around 6 per round basically. So you can use them up on cards, but you have to use 3 of them up to use the song word. So it makes every fight that you encounter while you're still holding that bird a bit harder, because at some point in the proceedings, that bird will come up and you'll have to get rid of it or revive all the enemies and things. So it's actually good if it comes out earlier in the fight and it's easier to deal with. But otherwise, it can be quite tricky and you can have to circumnavigate your way around that. And there's a fast travel thing where you can travel between the summoning stone type things, but not while you're holding a quest card, which the bird is a quest card. So you have to go back through all these other fights you've got more cards available to you because it opens up more cards as you go throughout the level and you've created more cards, but it makes those fights harder to traverse and go back through and then get back to this tree and kind of redo that, kind of get to the conclusion of that quest, and it gives you access to more components that you can construct cards with and stuff. So it's a really interesting thing. From that Howl that I played last year that didn't quite land and didn't quite work as a tactical isometric turn-based game, this does it really well, to the point where I wishlisted it before I finished the demo. I'm buying it day one. They could charge me a premium for early access and I'd still pay it. My only problem with the game is it's not available now and I want to play more of it, basically, which is why I might go and replay the demo. So I can't think of a way of expressing how much more I'm enamored by the game. And it's excellent. It really is very, very good. A little bit different to anything we've seen before in the same space, but borrowing from things like Inscription, classic turn-based strategies, like Into the Breach, and doing its own thing enough that it is its own thing, and visually it looks like its own thing, but really, really excellent. I highly recommend trying out the demo on Steam. If you can, and I really look forward to the game coming out. I'm not sure when that is, unfortunately. I should check that possibly, but
it still says to be announced on the well, coming soon on Steam. So I did try looking at beforehand. So that's Death Howl, and Tim seems very excited for it. A game that I randomly got excited about, and I did not expect myself to get excited about this, but ended up picking it up after a absolute flurry of good reviews, is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Yeah. However, I've not played it enough, so we're not talking about it this week. So we were talking about Achilles Survivor, Tim.
But also, it might annoy me. But yeah.
Yeah? I mean,
not sure.
You annoy a lot of people, and you still like podcasts.
That's true.
So,
I'm very interested in your opinion, though, Mr. Coleman, of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Yes, I'll talk about that more next week, but it is good. And it plays well on Steam Deck, although not verified, but the developers are trying to get it verified.
Okay.
All right. So, Achilles Survivor. This is a spin-off of a different Achilles title, which the name eludes me now, but was more of a hacky slashy type game. And they decided to make a spin-off for a fraction of the price, costing just $4.99.
Oh.
And it's in early access on PC at the moment. Plays pretty well on Steam Deck, which is what I've been playing this on. The reason I'm talking about this, they sent me some PR stuff. We get PR stuff every now and then, so they want us to put trailers up on the website and apply for codes and things. And I spotted this and it caught my eye and I went, that looks absolutely bonkers. I need to give this a go. And stop me if you've heard this one before, Tim. So it comes out in early access. I pick it up straight away, put it on the Steam Deck, plays really well. You pick a hero. At first it's Achilles, but along the way you unlock more heroes. Then you are dropped into a little open world and a little open area, and you are running around without much point, firing the odd spear. And then a bad guy will walk up and you automatically throw a spear at that bad guy. Right. And then as you progress, you will you get XP for taking down the bad guys, and then you will unlock upgrades. There will be 4 on screen that pop up, and you will pick one of those upgrades. You'll get. So I'm guessing
I know where the survivor name comes into the equation.
Yeah. So you pick up upgrades, you get better weapons, you get stronger, faster, and you're just trying to survive for, I believe it's 20 minutes on each level. Okay. And then they'll throw in like little sub goals for you. And as Tim has alluded to just there, yes, I was playing this for ages without realizing, because I know the game, I own the game, I have yet to play the game.
Oh.
This is Vampire Survivor. And I went, oh, damn, I own this. So I put that on the Steam Deck to give that a try. I gave this a rest and jumped over to Vampire Survivor. I actually prefer Achilles Survivor. So.
But does that mean that we're getting a new genre type in the Survivor-like or Survivor-lite?
Well, I mean, Survivor games already exist. So it would have to be, I mean, we'd have to literally say Vampire Survivor-like or light, or light.
Is Survivor already a thing?
Yeah, survival.
Survival,
games,
not survival.
All right, Survivor games. Unless we're talking about the video game of the TV show Survivor. Probably on the Wii, I'm guessing. Probably had Joe Rogan in it. Yeah. Was it Survivor? No, he was in Fear Factor. I'll shut up. So, anyway, I've been really enjoying this, and it's sort of it's a love-hate relationship, because on one hand I can't stop playing this on my Steam Deck, and on the other hand I stopped playing Witcher 3 because I just got way into this game. And I feel bad now because I was having a nice little time with Witcher 3, and I feel a bit silly that I just put it all into this. But as I say, it's $4.99. If you, I mean, I think it's more expensive than Vampire Survivor. But I don't know what it is about this aesthetic, it being all Spartans and Greek gods and things, that makes me enjoy it more. But I'm appreciating the aesthetic more than the pixelated vampires and bats and things. But yeah, I really like it. Your mileage may vary. It is an early access. They are doing updates and things to it along the way, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, out now, PC early access on Steam.
Ooh.
Achilles Survivor.
That reminds me
That's all
that
the games we done played.
I think I've downloaded it but not played it yet. But that Last Spartan Glory Over Madness, I think it was called, is
no, it was called Rise, Son of Rome. You played it. It was your game of the year. We all mocked you for it.
It was the dice building game that I reviewed. Right, I previewed from not EGX, from WASD last year.
Right.
And I think there's a demo of that out now on Steam as well. So that's something I might check out in time for next week, even though I think the demo came out a few weeks ago now. But yeah, I liked that in preview, so I'm hoping the demo will be good. But
we're just whiling away the hours until we can finally play Avowed and Like a Dragon. Ooh, they're pirates now, and Monster Hunter Wilds, and there's a fair few games that are all coming out at the end of this month.
Yes, I've got a lot of games to try and finish before then, though. Like, I did finish one of them. I did finish Indiana Jones, which I thought was still very good. Slightly underwhelming ending, but that might be because I haven't done all the fetch questy stuff like that I might go back and do at some point, which I think might change the ending, maybe, by the looks of things, but I don't know.
I'm gonna try squeeze in the Mortal Kombat 1 expansion before all my new games come out, because that was on sale recently. It might still be the season pass. But the problem is with the story, you've got it's a season pass, so you get all the season 2 of DLC fighters. I'm just addicted to trying and mastering Ghostface. He's so good. He was a fighter I didn't want, and now I can't stop playing as. He's really, really cool. So,
well, we have to do a fight night at some stage, because I think I've got the expansion stuff for Street Fighter that I still haven't messed around with. And then I've also got that fighting game collection that we can have a go at as well, the Marvel versus Capcom one as well. So,
and I have Tekken 8.
Ooh, yeah, lots of fighting games. Fight.
Fight.
I have a few other people that might be interested in joining us for that as well. So
cool. Let's get the man called Rick. Let's get the fifth Beatle of BRB UK Ed.
Have a fight.
Get Smash Brothers. He'll love it. Okay, let's talk about some news this week. And first off, we got a first look at the next Battlefield game, albeit a very small amount of content for the next Battlefield game, because the focus was more on Battlefield Labs, which is a new project from EA and the Battlefield team. Labs. And they were mainly excuse me, they were mainly showing off the studio, the project, what they're doing with labs. It's a lot of focus testing, beta testing and alpha testing for the new game. But they did show some things like, some destructible environments. Some things we like from Battlefield.
Thing.
Yeah, some things we like from Battlefield. It's just that the games tend to get a little bit rushed to market and don't perform as well as we need to. And then by the time they get fixed, no one cares anymore. They've all gone back to Call of Duty. But for those watching the video right now, I did go through the video and painstakingly pulled all the gameplay footage out and took out all the people. So I think it's about 32 seconds of footage, and it's not all gameplay. It's
lots of stuff blowing up, though.
Yeah.
That's what you like to see in a Battlefield game.
Mm-hmm. Just realised the cat's got in. 1 second.
Giving me a parcel. We'll let the cat
Must have been
out.
asleep in here the entire time, and I didn't notice. I'm leaving that all in. Anyway, Battlefield Labs.
That's a whole building blowing up. Looks fun.
Yes, that did look cool.
Battlefield's one of those things where I really like the idea in concept, but then actually playing it online with people has never been that fun for me. Like, I'd really like it if they had a single player campaign in there, and then I might be on board. And then that might be enough to go, okay, I like this enough, let's try it online. And then I'll go, oh no. But I don't know.
So in the video they did show off the 4 teams that are behind Battlefield Studios now. So you've got DICE who are handling the multiplayer section. You've got Motive that are handling the single player content and the maps.
Cool.
Ripple Effects that are focusing on player onboarding. And your favorite, Criterion, are working on the single player campaign.
Working on the racing portions of it.
Yes, the racing portions in single player. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, they've got them all working together, and we'll see how it goes.
Did I hear somewhere? I swear I heard in some of the coverage of this that someone was saying that Vince Zampella's involved in this somehow.
He is. He was in the video for a brief period as well.
Okay. Because that makes it more intriguing, just in terms of he knows what he's doing in this space and has, a lot of pedigree to bring to it, and that might make it more interesting in general. And the fact that they do seem to be wanting to concentrate on the quality of it could make it more interesting as well.
I mean, my history with Battlefield goes similar to yours. I play the single player content when it's available. Don't always finish it, and then I try some multiplayer with friends if they're available, and then I usually just kind of fall off it. However, I think I think the last Battlefield game that came out, there was a call for the Gamers Confessional guys to try and get together, and I was trying to grief them in their chat, going like, "Oh, I've got amazing kill death ratio. I'm gonna take you all down. BRB UK versus Gamers Confessional. Take you down, boys." So I'm going to listen to the next episode, see if they're excited about this, and then I might start sowing the seeds of the challenge where we're going to fail miserably.
Me and Dan can just embarrass ourselves.
What ho, chaps! Stop shooting me in the head.
I think the last Battlefield that I played played any amount of and enjoyed was Bad Company something 2. Did they go up to
Bad
2?
Company 2? Everyone loves Bad Company 2.
Yeah, that's the last one I remember really enjoying. But hey,
I remember liking the trailer where they were making fun of Gears of War.
Yeah,
pretty good. Yeah. All right. From the news of what will be in the future to the news of what is no more. Unfortunately, the studio Midnight Society has been closed down.
Oh no!
I say unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because they did the right thing of kicking out their co-founder, Dr. Disrespect. Yes,
that was good at least, I guess.
Yeah. Who's currently making his living on Rumble now, along with the rest of the grifters, like Russell Brand.
People should have been more suspicious of him all along. Like, if like me and possibly you, Coleman, you were raised on 80s TV, then you should know that anyone with a mustache is the evil version of the person. That's how it works.
I think that's just mirror dimension logic.
How it worked in Knight Rider, how it works in the rest of the world. Like, he's evil. Hence, Mario and Luigi, evil. See? Freddie Mercury, evil version.
Anyway, after they parted ways with Dr. Disrespect, Guy Beam, but Guy Beam.
Is that his name?
They were Guy Beam.
Beam
is his name.
Okay.
And he likes rocks that give you energy. And Shungite, that's it. He likes that rock that it deflects away from bad energies like 5G signals.
What?
How did we not see this coming?
What?
He likes the book of what's the guy's name? Is it David Icke, the one who thinks the royal family are all lizards?
I mean, the royal family has a lot of problem, but being lizards or amphibians of any sort is not really one of them.
Anyway, I'm getting hung up on Dr. Disrespect.
Yep.
But yes, the studio was formed, had a team of over 55 developers, and now they've had to close doors. They're just it's a shame. I think they did the right thing, but at the same time, I can't see that whole controversy like tarring them with a good brush at the same time. Like you don't
really tar things with good brushes, Coleman. That's not how the tarring works, really.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But yes, I assume that it's something that's going to be hard to shake if your founder is
evil,
allegedly talking to underage children on Twitch.
Allegedly evil. It's the mustache.
Although it seems pretty likely.
Mustache.
Anyway,
beards are okay, by the way. I'm not saying you're an evil version of yourself. Beards are fine. It's mustache.
Thank you.
You have to be careful.
If there's a goatee, then you should worry.
Goatees, that's like, it's not the evil
the
version of
darkest
something.
timeline.
It's plain evil.
Forza Horizon 5 coming to PlayStation 5.
Is it?
It is.
Okay. I mean, it's fine.
Officially announced
I don't mind.
on Forza.net.
That's good for people that haven't played that game already. I've played that game already. I didn't play it that much, actually, for Horizon stuff. I should have played it more. But
I would like to know. It's coming this spring, by the way. No official date. It's just this spring. I won't pick this up because I have Game Pass and a Series X. But what I would like to know, will this perform better on the Xbox Series X, the once world's most powerful console, or the PlayStation 5 Pro?
Do you think they'll get it working and then go, hang on, can you dial that back a bit? It's a bit better than the Xbox.
Back a bit.
Just drop a few frames here and there, please.
They go, this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, I'm an Xbox. That's not an Xbox.
That's not an Xbox. That's a PlayStation.
Yeah, so that'll be joining such great games like Sea of Thieves, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle this year, apparently sometime, and many other titles like Grounded as well.
But that's good news for PlayStation gamers that don't have access to Game Pass or Xbox, because there is a real dearth of actual good racing games, partly because Sony made a fantastic racing game and there's no reason for anyone else to come along and play anymore. But there's also just a lack of general arcadey racing games in gaming at the moment, generally.
Yeah, I think I prefer the Forza style over the Gran Turismo style. It used to be the other way around a long time ago, and I think just because I think just volume of Forza games over Gran Turismo games has kind of swayed that for me initially. I've just played one so many that I've gone, I prefer this now. I'll be interested to see how it's priced, because they do tend to release Xbox games on the PlayStation. Well, they seem to they lower the price to what a standard RRP is, or even like the mid tier, like a £50. They seem to go lower than that sometimes, and then they'll charge higher for like I think Sea of Thieves was 35, and then it was 50 if you wanted like the special edition gold package thing. So I'll be interested to see how they price Forza Horizon 5, because I know a lot of the time, for instance, like PlayStation games that come to the PC 1 or 2 years after they've come to the PlayStation, by the time they've come to the PC, you could get them on PlayStation at a much cheaper price elsewhere, and then they charge a full £70 for them. So I'll be interested to see how much they price Forza Horizon 5. Yeah,
I think it justifies a full price release, no? Like, I think that's fair for the amount of game you get. It's a fairly big game.
I think also because it is that's a tentpole Xbox game to me. How long before we see Halo? Like Master Chief Collection on the PS5 or something like that.
Yeah, there were people
Or
asking
Halo
whether
5.
we'll see the Halo collection on Switch 2. And I don't know. Like, that, I guess it's just because it would be such an oddity that I don't expect it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I think that's one of those things. But yeah, more likely to be on Switch 2 than PlayStation, I would say.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of rumors about what's coming to Switch 2 regarding ports from other consoles and then games that are upcoming at the moment. And I've just chose to omit them from the agenda because...
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I have to give a shout out to Game and Tag Radio. They had a good interview with Phil Spencer that kind of detailed a lot of that and been widely reported elsewhere. So yeah, good work from Game and Tag Radio peoples.
We like those guys.
Godfrey. Yes, they are nice people.
And the people. I mean, I've only got second-hand information about that. They could be absolute dicks for all I know.
I'm
just going on your word, Tim.
Lovely, so yeah.
Not a doctor disrespect among any of them.
No, not a dodgy moustache around. Yeah, sometimes, most of the time.
Anywho, lastly, I thought this was interesting because I was talking to a friend about this recently. There was a like 2 weeks ago, I think, they finally confirmed that the Sleeping Dogs movie that's been in development since 2017, I think, with Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen confirmed that it wasn't going ahead anymore. He wasn't doing it anymore. He was gutted. He liked the idea, yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden, IGN put out this new article saying it's actually officially in development. We've spoken to sources that have confirmed this. Sima Liu of... Shang-Chi and other things. He will be starring and producing in Sleeping Dogs. And I was interested to see what they were going to do with Donnie Yen. I'm not the biggest Sima Liu fan, but I think that's a really good fit for the main. Yes. But I think if they were getting just based on the main character from Sleeping Dogs, I think Sima Liu is actually a good fit.
Yeah, no, I think it's perfect casting. I think that makes a lot of sense. If he's producing it and starring in it, I actually think that gives it a bit more weight as well. I'm a bit more interested in it. Like, I'd be curious to see if this leads to an actual game coming out alongside the movie production as well.
Yeah.
It would have to be already in production, I would say, because it's a while since Sleeping Dogs. It goes on sale a lot on Steam. For the definitive edition, but I wouldn't have thought a lot of people are familiar with the name. No. And when you said you were talking to a friend about it, was that friend me on the podcast about 2 weeks ago? Because didn't we speak about it?
No.
At some point?
No. I did say that I was literally talking to a friend about it last week, but I did randomly mention it, and I can't remember why. So it must have just been fresh in my head from that, and then it came up in conversation, and they anyway.
Now, if they were making a movie of Hard Boiled, then we can talk.
No, wait.
No, hang on. Is that the wrong way around?
You got that wrong.
Was that the game?
You got it the wrong way around. The game is. I can't remember.
No, I'm gonna have to look that up.
But video game, John Woo. Stranglehold.
Stranglehold, that's it.
Stranglehold's the game.
That would have been a much better reference if I
film.
actually got the name right. So, but if they were making a game of Hard Boiled, great.
Yes.
If they're making a movie out of Stranglehold, also interesting.
Even better.
Yeah.
Just shooting people in the nuts in slow-mo all the way through the film.
I watched Face Off again the other day. It was on TV, and that's one of those movies where if it comes on, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm watching this now. All right, fine.
Are you ready for the remake?
No, they don't need to remake that film.
Sequel?
It's
I forgot what they're doing
as
now.
it is. Huh?
It's either a sequel or a remake, but we're getting another Face Off, Tim. Get ready.
As long as it's got John Travolta and Nick Cage again. Just do it again.
Yeah. Just paint John Travolta on some new hair and off we go. Back to the races. But yes, I would watch a Sleeping Dogs movie for some reason. I don't know how popular that game was, but it came out in 2012. It's one of those games that it's only been out. It's had a release and a definitive edition, and I've somehow owned this on 3 different generations. So work that one out.
I nearly bought this the other day because it was on sale for a stupid price on Steam, and I think it would be fun on the Steam Deck. But I remember liking this game.
I think I've done that. I
don't remember a single thing about it other than its setting and that I liked it. Like, I don't remember the first thing about game. I remember it being a bit GTA-like, but I don't remember like anything like about the mission structure or how it played or anything else. I just remember liking it and that it was.
Well, you're a cop posing as a criminal. I remember that.
Right.
I remember it's a mixture. It's like open world driving, shooting. But
someone take your face off.
There was Nicolas Cage screaming while he was dressed up as a vicar.
John Travolta.
That was cool. John Travolta says Papa's got a brand new bag and then smokes a cigarette and licks his daughter's face. I can't remember. Anyway. Yes. Stab and twist and pull.
Stab and twist.
Yeah, something like that. But yes, I remember that. I remember that the game came. They had Emma Stone as a brief character voicing in the game,
right?
And it had been in so long in development that she was famous by that point. It came out, and there was some word about Emma Stone being in a game, and then you finally like do her bit and go, oh, well, that was it. Okay, fine. And then they had a DLC expansion that I really, really liked, where they just go, okay, so you've left the main game campaign area and you've gone to a mystical island where we're basically just doing a Bruce Lee film, complete with film grain and the music and the subtitling and everything. And you can get a costume that's very similar to the way of the gold Bruce Lee costume. I loved that bit. That was great. Did a whole film on that. Anyway, that's all the news we have time for this week. And to wrap up, before we wrap up, Tim.
Yep.
We do merchandise. It's available on tpublic.com/stores/BRB. And over there, you can get t-shirts, you can get mugs, you can get stickers,
you can
get face masks.
Can we still get face masks? Are we still doing cushion? Those? I don't know if they're still on there. I think they are. I think you can still buy them. I haven't removed them from our store. But I noticed cushions. They were pushing cushions the other day. And that means that you can buy Dan's face.
Dan's face on a cushion.
And sit on Dan's face.
Sit on Dan's face. I'm smelling a new video.
Yep.
We need some shorts content. It's just going to be just me repeatedly sitting on Dan's face. Each video, 1 minute at a time. Yes, go there, buy merch. Support us, support the artists. It is available on tpublic.com/stores/BRB. And also, Tim, Tuesday. I hear it's Tuesday.
Before you move on, though, currently 35% off on tpublic.com. I don't know how long that will last, so run to it. Buy Dan's face.
If it's an hour, I'm going to
other merchandise
throw something at you.
Is also available without Dan's face.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday
is a Tuesday, Coleman. This Tuesday is no different.
Right.
But what's different about a Tuesday than every other day of the week, Coleman? Tuesdays we do a
Tiddlywinks.
event called Tabletop Tuesday at the Loading Bar in Stoke Newington. Each and every Tuesday, we have a different feature game, and if you play that feature game, you have a chance of winning a copy of the game at the end of the evening. This week's game is a stonking big board game called Station to Station. A bit like Ticket to Ride, but not legally distinctive from Ticket to Ride.
Okay.
It's not entirely like Ticket to Ride. It's just a board game about trains, which gamers love trains, so, it is good. Should be a good game. Should be a fun one to come along and play. Station to Station. If you're interested in playing Station to Station and possibly winning a copy, you could check out more details on bigredbarrel.com. There is a thing in the sidebar on the right-hand side that is titled Tabletop Tuesdays. Just click on that and it'll take you to more details. Or join the over 2,210, I think it is now, members of our meetup group. Search for Tabletop Tuesdays on newington.com, or just come along to the Loading Bar in Stoke, Newington. Also, as I detailed last week, I did the first charity challenge for Star Wars Unlimited. That went down well. I think I've raised £50 so far for Great Ormond Street, and we're doing that throughout this month. So come along and play that at the Loading Bar in Stoke Newington. Again, more details on the site and on meetup.com.
Tabletop Tuesday at the Loading Bar in Stoke Newington. I forgot the words I was going to say. Go there on Tuesday. Well, I go there every Tuesday, but this Tuesday will be Tuesday, the 11th of February, which, as we know, Tim, just 3 days before Valentine's Day. And even more, probably even more importantly, just 6 days before John Brady's birthday. May he rest in peace.
Wow. He'll be old.
He'll be 22. I know he's younger than us. I don't like it. Yeah. Go there. Play trains. It's fun. Just not even the board game. Just turn up with a Hornby set. Set it up. Into City 225. Bosh. Do some of that. Hey, if you've enjoyed the show, you're a weirdo, but we love you all the same. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Checking out the live stream if you have indeed done so. You can find us on bigredbarrel.com. That's a website where we keep the podcast and all the other keys to the kingdom, such as articles, reviews, and news.
There's keys to our kingdom?
Videos and everything available on bigredbarrel.com. Be there. Get bigger, get redder, get better. bigredbarrel.com. Tell your friends. Tell your mum. Your mum will love it. Do it.
Right. That's a lie. We can't deliver on that sort of promise, Kelvin. Don't make promises we can't keep.
Okay. Social media links are available in the show notes and on bigredbarrel.com, as well as a link to our Discord, which is, as Dan likes to say, discord.com/invite/munterhafwa. That is discord.com/invite/munterhafwa.
Indecipherable.
Just use the link instead. It's
that's
easy.
Right. Do that.
But you can go there. You can ask us questions. You can talk to us. But if you do ask us a question, be sure to start it with, I have a question, much like the very sexual Mild and Creamy has asked us. He says, and I quote, I have a question for the casual gamer. In this context, someone that gets to play a game for a few hours a week. Is there ever a good reason to buy games on release? Is it not better to wait a year and allow them to patch it for the price to come down?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
The only reason I'd say that you want it's the FOMO, it's the getting up in the cultural zeitgeist and playing it at the same time as everyone else. There are some games where it's nice to kind of discover things in the game at the same time as other people, and there being like content you can do, but you can always go back for that type of thing. I think, especially in the context of being a more casual gamer, that's not something you're so worried about. And like you say, like you're less likely to encounter game breaking bugs and all that type of stuff that you can get other people to iron out. You're also more likely, and I would say big sites like IGN tend to have this stuff up quite quickly these days, but you're more likely to be able to, for a smaller game that maybe IGN hasn't covered in this way, you're more likely to be able to find guides and stuff online that will help you through something you might otherwise get stuck on, which I think might be, of interest to someone that's more casual, and you don't want to get, if your gaming hours are precious, you don't want to get stuck on a particular part of a game for ages, be it from a game-breaking bug or, be it from just getting stuck and not knowing what to do. So for both of those reasons, I think it kind of makes sense. But as you say, like, it's not just the patching, the price comes down a lot as well, so that you can afford to have pretty much the same experience, if not a better experience, at a lower price. So I would always say, in answer to your question, that it's worth waiting for, basically.
Yeah, especially if do you like that water cooler moment with your games? Do you like to be in the zeitgeist and talk to people about your games? Then it might be worth picking up on the day of release, pre-ordering or whatever you need to. Sometimes I've had games that I've been glad that I've been playing on day one because they've been spoiled to holy hell online. Yeah. And
yes, there is that.
It is worthwhile to avoid that kind of thing. But at the same time, I can imagine if I waited a year, I probably would have forgotten the spoilers.
Yeah, that's also fun.
So I do have a memory like a sieve. But then the other thing as well, it depends on the type of game you got. Are you a FIFA player? Are you a Call of Duty player? Are you a player that has a particular like online community that you like to take part in? Then it could be worth that. But then I do find a few of my friends that they're usually into both as well. Sorry, it's not even called FIFA anymore, is it? It's EA Football Club or whatever it's called now.
Which apparently didn't sell well last year. Part of the reason that EA.
No, neither did Ultimate Team. Oh no! My heart bleeds.
Oh, no.
Andrew Wilson can afford one less shoey this year. But yes, a lot of my friends that I find play FIFA. They also play Call of Duty, and I'm always forever going to call it FIFA. And
which
that
FIFA
tends
to be annoyed about
the two games that they. Yeah, those tend to be the two games that they play. They buy like day one, and then everything else can wait for a sale. But yes, if you can do it, it's worth waiting. At the same time, if you're ever in a...
I was just going to say, also these days, it's worth waiting because you might get it for... Well, it depends. If you're a casual gamer, I don't know if you're subscribed to Game Pass, but a lot of my friends that are more casual gamers are. Or if it's PlayStation Plus, you might end up getting the game just as part of one of those services rather than having to spend any money or any additional money on it for a separate purchase. So that's often a good reason to wait these days as well, because even if you don't have one of those services, if it comes out on those services, it tends to drive the price of the game down as well. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine FIFA being a good one to get. I keep saying it. I can imagine that being like a good one to get a year late, because you see the prices of those just absolutely drop a week before release of the new game.
I'm going to buy like
especially
FIFA
like secondhand
from 2 years
copies.
ago, so it's still called FIFA, so that makes more sense for you. But also, so we still got Harry Kane and not a whole squad of injuries. That'll be good.
You got a statue yet? No,
don't think
so.
Also, incidentally, Madden didn't sell very well last year, and I just saw before we came on the show that they've announced that that's coming to Game Pass shortly as well. So that kind of proves my point a bit as well. There you go.
MLB not coming to Game Pass. But no, it's true. I put a thing up on the website, but there's I think it's the first MLB, because for the last 4 years MLB's been coming to Xbox, and this will be the first time in 4 years that it's not a day one Xbox Game Pass game.
Oh, so they've given the first taste for free, and then ramping the price. The drug dealer strategy to video games.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the payout over sales for Game Pass wasn't worth it for that specific game. Possibly. And maybe having it on Game Pass is hindering potential sales in their view. Who knows? It's the world of video games and sports combined.
Yes.
I tell myself every year whenever they're going to make whenever they announce the new WWE game, and I've fallen off the previous one, I go, do you know what? Not buying it day one. I'm going to wait. It usually goes down to like £25 in a couple of months anyway.
Yeah.
Except for last year where they really tried to keep the price up on that game by releasing different versions of it and stuff. And every time I don't. I pre-order it. I buy it day one. I do whatever.
You buy the special stupid edition day one. All the money.
It's worse now when they release it for WrestleMania season. When they used to release them in like November, then that was when it was the worst, because they would release and then by December or by Black Friday, they would be £25, and I would have spent 60 or 50 or whatever on them. But anywho, that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of the show, Tim.
Oh, killed it, Coleman.
Imagine there was no outro. That was it. We did a black screen like Sopranos.
It's fade to black.
The end of the show. Forever. Go to the website, bigredbarrel.com, go to all the social medias, leave us a review if you can. That would be great. We do like a 5-star review where reviews are available. On next week's show, we are hoping to get some time to talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Ooh.
And I'm hoping to have some time to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Kingdom Come.
That game is very good.
Will be done.
All right. So, and hopefully we'll have done. So for episode 623 of BRB UK, I have been Coleman.
I might have been Tim.
And Dan's been over there. He's behind you. He's got a gun. Watch out. He's going to move.
He's in the bushes.
He's in the bushes with a moustache. Until next time, dear listeners, dear viewers, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we will catch you next time. Goodbye.
Quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarrel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarrel.com.
Yeah, interesting bits to know. Like I said, new protagonist, Yakumo, the female ninja of the Raven clan. And that makes the game woke automatically. However, Ryu will still be available to play as.